Warning, younger viewers be advised. Soulcast contains coarse language. Check out our other videos if this proves inaccessible. If not, enjoy the cast. G'day everyone, welcome back to Soulcast Season 2, Episode 4. I am Deshore or Jade, and I am joined as always by the crew. Who have we got here?
G'day, you got Maxwell Monarch here.
Nice.
Yeah. And you got Fucus or Fucus or Moz or Alex.
Yeah, lots of alliances. That was probably the might have been the smoothest intro so far in this new season.
It's almost like we've been doing this for a long time.
We've quite the track record of appalling intros over the past few
I remember weeks, the last one that we did was
horrendous. It was fucking awful. But we're joined here, and maybe that's a sign, a good omen for the rest of the cast.
I wouldn't speak too soon.
Fuck off. speaking about what's happening for the rest of the cast, I've got some intro shit that I want to talk about, and then I have three main topics for the cast. So, I'll give a little overview of the topics. First one, I want to talk about YouTube Shorts that we've been doing. That's the first thing I want to do. Second thing I want to do, I want to talk about piracy, because lately there's been a lot of discussion about piracy on the Soulcube server. I don't know how much you guys have been keeping up with that. But there are some... We have had a whole episode on piracy before, but we haven't really discussed any of the main arguments that the people have been addressing. So we'll be talking about that. And then the final point, which will probably be the episode name, which is why Moz doesn't like game development. All right, that's the...
Well, hang on. Hang on. What is
all right,
this?
And we'll get to that at the end of the episode. So we'll kick ourselves. We'll kick everything off with the beginning. And I wanted to just address. Remember last week how we're talking about how everyone wants the Soulcast, and people were demanding it. Well, I think it's one of those cases where when people demand what they don't have. So we give them the Soulcast. And remember how we said to leave in the comments how frequent you want the Soulcast to be?
Yes.
How frequent do you think a zero responses indicates?
I reckon it's not a very
good. I don't think it's very frequent.
Yeah, no.
That's like hilariously well done.
It's hilariously infrequent, one might say. And you remember how we practically spent like 10 minutes last episode begging for people to give us questions.
Yeah, like we always do.
Yeah, like we've been doing for the past fucking 30 episodes. Well, we didn't get any of those either. So,
surprise!
Is Soulcast being discontinued?
No. But I'm just saying that when we were talking about weekly episodes, if people wanted them, people don't want them. So we're probably going to go back to...
All right, guys. This is the season finale.
Yeah, season finale. Might as well go find the Ender Dragon now, lads. Everyone up on.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
But I'm just saying is like they're going to be more infrequent, and I suppose that's good because it gives us things to talk about, right? We're not starved of topics, right?
Yeah.
We only really do a cast when there is stuff we want to talk about. Speaking of which, there was something we actually forgot from last episode. One of our Patreon rewards is if you're a cube tier or higher, you get a little shout out on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
and because we've never actually had any cube tiers until the last podcast, I completely forgot. So
I think we all kind of forgot.
Yeah, the honorary, the shout out from last cast is Drew67, a Tesseract tier patron. Oh my goodness! So that means he was giving us the biggest support package offered. So he scored himself a lot of free shit last month.
A lot of funky bonuses.
A lot of free shit last month. He got a free Soulcube shirt, and he also got he's on the list because we're not Twitch affiliate yet, so we can't get subs. But he's on the list, so when we do get affiliate, boom, free sub for the man. And also, he's won himself some skin design tokens for both of our games. And what those are like, they're just like you work with us to make a design, right? You know, just send us your fucking MS Paint thing and like this is going in the game. It's just like this is the concept that I would like, and then you work with us to design a thing. And he won all of that shit last month.
Man's literally profiting.
Yeah, you know what and we was also supposed to win a shout out last month, but like I said, we forgot. So, if you guys don't know about the Patreon, you can check it out, patreon.com/Soulcube. We've recently changed our pricing model. We've dropped the prices and moved it to a per video basis, per weekly video. So we can never charge for more than one video per week. But if we don't make a video in a week, then you don't have to pay anything. So if we somehow, if we like disappear off the face of the earth, like with the SSD incident, you're not still paying for us to basically produce nothing really, while we're trying to recoup the losses. So
pretty good deal.
Yeah, go give that a squeeze. Patreon.com/Soulcube. Link is in the description. Moz is laughing.
He's a little giggler.
I just found it funny because you're doing all the all of the go check us out things.
Yeah, like the classic
very
little
good. No, it's very good.
plug of the.
Well, we completely forgot last week, so I was like, you know what? I'm putting it in the intro, so we'll hit it right off the bat. So, I think we should dive into the meat and potatoes.
Oh damn!
The meat and potatoes of the episode. So I wanted to kick things. Actually, I want to kick things off with the piracy discussion. Actually, right? So yes or no? Have you guys been up to date with what's going on with the piracy stuff?
No, not really. I saw it tossed.
Okay.
I saw it tossed around. I didn't look into it though.
Okay, all right. So another debate broke out recently about the ethics or the morals of piracy, right?
Yes.
Of game piracy in particular, we were talking about, but it can be like anything, movie piracy, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. There is quite the consensus in the server that it's not that bad, or it's not stealing, right?
Not stealing.
So I want to get my personal. Okay, no, actually, no. First up, let's get our personal things out, and then I'll present some of the points that they get to. So I'll start. I think that piracy is bad. Is a bad thing, and it's illegal for a reason.
Oh my gosh! What an outrageous!
No, what a hot take! What a hot take! I think those ads that are memed like all the time, right? The like you wouldn't steal a fucking whatever.
You wouldn't screenshot an NFT.
Yeah,
no, I love
like
the
that.
one in the 2000s who was like, you wouldn't steal a car.
Like they're fucking hilarious, but I do think there's a bit of merit to that, right? Like
yeah, exactly.
Obviously, there is slight differences which people bring up in the arguments. But I do still think that if as a creator, you're having your work stolen, like you're trying to make a living and your work is being stolen and you're getting nothing, then why would you keep creating stuff? Like you're not a fucking charity, right? You're not a free public service fucking charity. You're offering a service and you get paid. Like a fucking like a builder, right? You fucking pay a builder to build your fucking house. You pay a fucking artist to make you some art that you like enjoy.
You wouldn't
right?
fucking steal a house, would you?
Is right.
Yeah.
Like what I was bringing up in the server was like the people wouldn't steal like bread from a fucking like a bakery, right? But they're happy to go steal someone's game off fucking Google Drive.
Yeah. You wouldn't steal a fucking TV, right? I'm just having flashbacks to those like old like early 2000s things, like the type of films that we all just mentioned before.
Yeah, so that's
it's like the exact same. Yeah,
that's my stance, right? Like, I don't see why people would fucking create shit, if people are just gonna steal it. I think it's selfish, right? That's my opinion.
I'm totally with you. It's the same like equivalent, right? Just because it's intellectual property, just because it doesn't physically and tangibly exist, doesn't mean that it still has the same like effect and like rules associated.
You
with
don't have
it,
the
right?
right to it just because it's online.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's silly that people, since they can't see it, feel it, touch it, they just disregard it as being someone's property, as being someone's service.
Yeah. Moz, you've been awfully quiet. Do you have what's your stance?
I've been trying to judge where the base is, and I'm assuming that it's people who, because I know a very common piracy thing that happens is when people, they'll take a character, so we'll say Mario for like,
Okay. Yeah.
sake, that character, and without, consulting the, I don't know who made Mario anyway, fucking Nintendo, right? But for them, they just make a piece of art, and then they'll put it on a shirt or something, and they'll gain monetary value out of it, right? So I'm assuming that may be where this is coming from. But I think there's an issue with that, as in, yes, it is technically illegal because you are using another person's work, i.e., their character. And
well, I think you're on the topic of
work.
I think you're on the topic of like copyright. We're more talking about like actual piracy.
Yeah, like actual stealing.
Yeah, like you don't own a game. You didn't pay for the fucking game, and you've just fucking taken it. You've just yonked it, right, to play it yourself without paying for it.
There's no justification for it. It isn't. If that's the case, then, I mean, it's not your work. It's not. Well, it doesn't belong to you. Somebody else has put time and effort into it.
And they're asking for a price, and you're not paying the fucking price.
Yeah, and there's no legal nor like moral real justification I find for taking another's work and then just blatantly reproducing it or giving it to others for, a lower price, or assuming all the monetary gain comes to you. I don't. Yeah, I'm not too sure about what they're...
Fair stance. All right, you guys are confused as to how it could possibly be justified, is the vibe I'm getting. All right, so I'm going to present the justification.
All right, I want to hear this. Is this like a court? Is this like your testimony?
No, so it's like the big thing is that it doesn't, quote unquote, doesn't harm anyone, right? Because they didn't actually, the creators didn't actually lose anything. If it was a scenario of someone
they lost money.
Because here's the thing: if it was a scenario of someone not buying the game or pirating it, it's the exact same outcome for the developers, like quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
That's the crux of the thing, right? Well,
okay,
the problem that I have with that is that it's fucking selfish, right? Because then if everyone had that same mentality, then that wouldn't be the case. Right?
Exactly.
Then everyone would just fucking get it for free, and then you actually are at a detriment to the developers. So I think that's a big flaw there. That's a selfish point of view. The second sort of like point that they used to build on top of that is that poor people should have access to entertainment too, right? And it sounds okay. It makes sense, right? But here's the thing: I've come up with an analogy for why that is a stupid reason, right? No, nothing against poor people. I think what's the word? People in places in poverty.
I don't know what you're
poverty is a genuine issue, is what I'm trying to say, right? But here's the thing, right? Everyone should have the right to food, right? Yeah. But not everyone should have the fucking, like, not everyone needs the right to fucking an all-you-can-eat buffet, right? Like, poor people...
Yeah, exactly.
Poor people should have the right to fucking, like, eat, right? And have, like a sustenance life. But they shouldn't have it, like, a fucking all-you-can-eat, like, first-class fucking
like
five-star buffet,
type
right?
shit.
That's literally better off than someone who's, like, not poor, right? Because that's the thing.
Yeah,
it's
right.
like, you either get... like me, right? I can't afford... fuck me. I can't afford many games that I would like to play. I just don't have the money, right? And so if I want to get it, I got to like save up and get the game. But if you're in the mindset of, well, I can't afford it, then you now have access to all the games. Because you can't afford all the games. So it's either a case of, oh, well, I'm not going to buy it, so I might as well pirate it. then you just have all the games. You just have all the fucking games, which you have like more access than people who are actually like earning money to contribute to I suppose the economy itself, right? No, it's for
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
fueling the economy. But then you have nothing, right?
That's true. Yeah, and I mean, like, everyone, when it comes to like these things, right? You know, everyone has to. Like, I don't know. I don't really know anyone who has to like actively not like save up or like watch their money or like calculate something to go figure out if they're going to like purchase a game which is like $60.
I mean,
Because
unless
like
you're rich,
especially to
unless you're
like
fucking
yeah exactly
yeah.
like so like the vast majority of people, right? If you want to talk about the whole like poor people should enjoy your games too, the vast majority of people who play games would be in a degree of poverty with that term, right? Because they would have to like consider their money before they buy it. If I didn't have like exactly enough to buy like some AAA game or whatever, and I just went, oh shit, I don't know if I can't buy this fucking video game. Otherwise, that wouldn't get me playing it. I'm just gonna steal it and play it because it's not harming anyone. Then yeah, like nothing would get bought,
Yeah.
like you were saying before.
Nothing will get bought. You're better off. In that case, you're better off being poor. You have more stuff being quote unquote poor. You have access to everything with that mentality, right? Than if
Yeah.
you actually had the money to buy stuff, right? Then you have no
That's right.
motivation to ever actually go get any money because you have it better off, which is stupid, right? Which is silly. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Moz, do you want to
I
weigh in?
understand.
Do you want to weigh in?
Well, I understand. Like, I get what they're saying.
I do I hadn't heard the
Yeah,
argument
I
before.
can-
Yeah, I do kind of understand to an extent where it comes from. But as I've addressed, I think that is quite flawed.
Yeah. But I mean, like, a person also has to put themselves in the perspective of the game developer, right? Say you put all the time and effort, and you and your company put all this effort in, and you really want, this game go well. You want to gain some revenue. You want to earn something out of it. And say that there are other people who adopt this philosophy that you know if no one buys the game, at least they should give it to others, right? So others can play it. It would basically, it would incentivize no one to actually buy the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what would be the point? No one wants to actively spend money if they cannot, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, exactly.
I had the option to buy a game or to not buy a game. Like, if I had if I had the option to either pay for a game or not pay for a game, I'd
Yeah,
rather
not pay for it. It's like a house, right? It's like, okay, either you can save up and like get a job and go like buy a house, right? Or you can just get a house for free. A house for
Easy
free?
peasy.
Why would I
Oh
ever
my
do
gosh.
anything if I could just get a house for free?
Yeah, and then
Now,
just
I
say,
think,
oh, it's because I can't afford it.
issue with it is if we look similar with like your analogy, right? A lot of people who get housing from the government, say that is for free. Let's say there's also a terms and conditions of that, right? Okay, you're in that house for a certain amount of time. You can play it for a certain amount of time, or you have to, after you play for it, you can pay like a little rent thing, right? And I think that would be the best way to actually combat something like this. Say you want to give more people the opportunity, people who are in, disadvantaged circumstances, say they have less money, opportunity to play a AAA game, right? I reckon maybe a best way to do it is to open up and have more, game trials or free trials of games.
Like demos and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is a proper way to to technically have a game for free, but it's not the full game. It's an incomplete version of it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Because that gets the publicity that you want in a game, as in everyone can play some of it to a degree, but if you actually want to play the whole game, then you have to pay for it. And it also satisfies some people because at least they have something to play. But those who have time, which I feel like you can only play a game if you have the time, and people who are impoverished
Oh yeah,
usually
that's
don't
like
have the time, right? So
Ah.
it's also something like those people who have it, it's not going to necessarily be benefiting them. It's just going to be benefiting the ones who are already rich, right? Just self-perpetuating their own economic background. They have tons of money, they have tons of time, they can do it. So I feel like the best way, would be have more free trials of games. just so you
Yeah.
can have it. Or,
What?
Yeah,
I've
right.
just thought of this. What do you think of, how, like, because the way, the government deals with other stuff, right? It's like there's a bunch of impoverished people. They need food. What do? They give them like a certain amount of food, that they believe is
food
fair.
allowance and
Yeah,
stuff,
to allow them to hopefully like get off the ground and become self-sufficient,
So
right?
so they
Yeah.
have time, and then that
Yeah.
time they can spend now trying to do something else with it.
Yeah. What do you
None of them are
think?
going to be fucking gaming.
Yeah. Do you think the same
Yeah,
thing would be
they-
possible for like game keys?
As in,
Like they just give out like a set of free games like every month to like like the designated impoverished people who need entertainment.
well, yeah, but if they do, first off, the entity would have to consult the game developer.
That's
So
what
if they-
I'm saying. But I think game developers would happily like donate like a certain amount of game keys to impoverished people, right?
But there's also, you need to make
Yeah.
sure that those people can't somehow. It would have to be
Yeah.
directly like tied to something that belongs to them, so they can't just like sell them on online for like a massive gain.
That is true.
That's a good point actually. That is a good
It
point.
would have to be somehow encrypted to the individual, right, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you would tackle it logistically, but from like a top-down
An
standpoint,
equity standpoint, it's
yeah,
good. Yes,
I do think that would be like a better solution, right? Because then I'm sure because that ties into that argument, right? It's like these impoverished people aren't going to be buying your games anyway, right? And as a developer, I would happily, give some keys to my game to these people who are never going to buy it anyway to bring like some joy to their life, right? But the thing is, I don't want people who are just too fucking stingy to pay for the game to fucking just rip it off
just to
Google
slip
Drive,
in,
right?
And then exactly.
Yeah, it's piracy. You can't just say like the arguments that they've brought up, but they're full, very like, and there needs to be, I reckon, like keys logistically sorted out would be a very good means, or just giving demos. I think satisfies everyone in the sense.
Yeah, I think demos is a something that the developer can do.
And like,
Yeah.
like we take a recent game, right? An expensive AAA game, let's say Resident Evil 8, right?
Yeah.
Now, even before the game released, I do like the Resident Evil franchise, so I kind of expected YouTube to also know that I like it and put it into my recommended. But the amount of people who played the demos was staggering, and that brought so much publicity, especially to the tall 9-foot lady. Like, if it weren't for those demos and such, they wouldn't have that publicity before the game even released, right? And that was a massive gain because it provided lots of people with the opportunity to play the game, and it provided tons of publicity for the game itself. So it also benefited the workers, and it benefited everyone else, and then they got a bit of entertainment. So I reckon.
Yeah, I actually do think
really
demos
well.
are underrated, and they've like fallen
I
away. Like
agree
every
with you
game used to have
there,
like a demo, but now they don't really anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the best way to combat like inequity of games.
Cool. Well, good,
And piracy.
good discussion. My game is like mega lagging. That's why I like.
Same with me. I think the service is like.
I think
having a
the
fit.
servers just like had enough. So
I'm like right next to a chunk and isn't loading, and I was in my mother farm before. And nothing's
just-
I've been
working.
mining, and I've just like for the past minute, I have blocks that are scattered all around.
I'm just
I'm
trying to
hoping-
find like some land so I can just walk around and have some sort of visual thing. But I'm just in like a water of like slowly loading chunks. It's just like what the fuck.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on right now. It's hard.
Oh,
So I'm gonna
okay.
check-
Let's stop loading. I don't want to. Okay. All right. Cool. Moving on. Oh, I made it to Among Us Island. All right. Moving on to.
Sorry, what?
I've made it to Among Us Island. Oh, I can't get onto the island though. It keeps lagging me back. No, please, please,
Yeah,
please,
they're, like,
please,
websites
please,
also.
please
It's
get
like
me
a-
on. No,
it's
I can't.
It's like the thing where you can never actually reach it. You only just get like progressively like a half closer.
Yeah,
half
it's like an asymptote
Yeah,
as I approach
yeah,
Among
it's
Us
like
Island.
the back.
yeah,
door.
approaches
Yeah.
but never equals. Yeah.
I'm on.
Oh right,
I've
apparently
reached
all of the
land.
RAM's being used up by something.
Oh my god, what's going on?
Imagine if Aqua's got some massive.
Oh no, I reckon
Sky
he is.
vision.
Oh my god.
Knowing Akko, I reckon he is.
Guys, I think we're being
We're being
trolled.
attacked.
This is the server's under attack.
A moderate amount of tomfoolery is being funded.
Unfortunate. Monarch, do you want to sort that out? Do you want to like TP to him, see what he's doing?
Yeah, alright, let's do this.
Yeah,
Alright.
bust him. Alright, you go do that, and I'll start the next topic. I wanted to cover. We've started trialing some, started trialing YouTube Shorts on the channel. We've done 3 so far. They're all like sort of game design, like or theory or like discussion, sort of like oriented, right?
Oh my gosh, it's not been loading. I TP'd to him. He's in the sky. How's this happening?
Ooh.
Oh, make sure you don't die.
Oh, he just flew. He just like fanged. Where did he go? I think the service is dying. Like it can't even handle me just going up to him. Okay, just keep going. I'll just try to keep down.
Yeah, we'll set
I'm
you
just
on
doing
the case, and me
my
and Alex will have a
police
discussion.
investigation. Yeah.
The 3 shorts. One was on textual integrity in games. One was on an article I read about narrative, like the definition of like narrative games and stuff. And the other one was on the, I suppose, literary worth of games themselves. Now, the first 2 went absolutely fucking ballistic. They're our most popular videos to date. They got like, first one got like 400 views, second one got like 500. The most recent one only got like 30 views. And the disparity between the amount of views is the YouTube decided not to show the third one to anyone. So the first 2 got a disproportional amount of like exceedingly high views, right? Because YouTube showed it to people in their feeds in YouTube Shorts who weren't already subscribed. Whereas they decided not to do that with the third one. And when I look at the stats for how well the third one performed to the other ones, it has a much better like average view duration and click-through rate, which I would think would be the 2 major stats for determining the success of a video to show to people. So, I don't know why YouTube is just like, fuck this one. Like, we don't have to show this one to people. It's just like,
Oh
I'm
my
not sure
gosh.
which metric, as a content creator, I should be looking to increase for the YouTube algorithm to actually support the content. It's not clear at all. I don't know what I should be doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's frustrating.
Oh yeah.
As a content creator, it's just like I don't know what the YouTube algorithm wants, right?
Yeah.
Because people saw the other 2 videos and people liked the other 2 videos because they were shown them by YouTube. So I made another one, and YouTube decided, no, we won't show this one. And despite
Stinky.
it having better stats than the other ones, but it was just like no. So I don't know how it works, and it's frustrating, I guess. And it's fine in the sense that because these videos are short, right, and they don't take that long to make, so it's not that big of a blow when you spend all this effort into it and it does nothing, right? But the same thing happens to all of our other videos, right? All of our other videos has never ever been recommended to people who aren't subscribed to us. Like a very small portion, right? We can see in the stats when YouTube decides to recommend videos to other people, and it doesn't do it to any of our videos. The only ones it's ever done is the shorts, and which it's obviously decided to stop doing now. So it's just like I don't know what we should be doing to please YouTube.
What about tags?
We tried tagging some of our videos, did absolutely nothing. Like, that's what people say.
tags
There's
don't
all these, like,
usually
tips and tricks that everyone says, and then you do the tips and tricks, and it does fucking nothing. It has absolutely no effect. I don't understand.
It's just some machine.
I don't understand how the fuck it works. And that's annoying as a creator, right? And it's not Pog. It's not Pog. This is all I can say. That's my rant about making content on YouTube done. Do you guys want to add anything to that, or do you want to get into the actual content of the shorts themselves?
I'm still on the. Oh my
No,
gosh.
yeah, we can go into the content.
Okay.
Okay, I see what's going
But
on.
I think it's like, oh wait, hang on, Max. What's going on?
So first up, I'm like 90% sure that Aquo's like fly hacking, because I saw him fly above the bedrock in the Nether and then just like zip into the air and just like zoom away before I could even chase him.
Caught in 4K.
Unless that's server lag, and then he's in the Nether with a pigman farm, and it's fucking there's so many of them.
Oh, is that what's lagging
see.
it out? I see. Okay.
I see where you
All right,
found
I'm
the
just gonna
reason.
whisper to him and just be like, "Yo."
Okay, cool. Yeah, what were you getting at, Moz?
Yeah, I mean, like, maybe because the one that didn't get any views, it was you had like Australia in the title, right, or something.
No,
Like
I
it
didn't
was
have
about
I didn't have Australia in the title at all.
or like HSC, anything.
No,
It was
I know. I
something.
completely detached it. The video from that. The only thing that was like Australian was that I read out the Nessa definition.
Yeah, it's not like It's not like any algorithm goes through and fucking looks at what's actually.
Yeah, the contents in the video, right? Because that's the thing. The video had a massive click through rate. Had like over a third click through rate. The other videos have like a 5% click through rate. This one had a 30% click through rate, which means people saw this. That every time someone saw this, 1 in 3 people, like over 1 in 3 people, went and watched it, right? And out of the people who went and watched it, they watched on average like over 3/4 of the entire thing, which is the amazing stats. Like that is actually like in terms of like how videos usually go. Those are great stats. So
Yeah.
based on raw stats, I don't understand why YouTube's just like, nah, fuck that. No, fuck that. I don't get it.
Cool.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. If it's I thought maybe at the beginning like it might be something to do with it just not liking that you like tagged Australia, that you had like
No.
Australian, so it like figured the audience would be like so small that it just wouldn't do it. But
Yeah, no, the only thing that I could see like an algorithm picking up that was different was that it was in a natural environment, like it wasn't inside my room, like it was outside. But I don't know why the
Yeah.
fuck that would be something that
Yeah,
they're
that'd be
searching
weird.
for to alter if they show videos to people or not. Maybe they're like,
Test that.
maybe they're like, people. Yeah, I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna try the next one back inside and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious. I'm curious. So we can do.
Oh, hang on. What about brands? Were you wearing a branded thing?
I was wearing my shirt, Soulcube shirt, and then the
Okay,
previous
'cause
ones I was also wearing a Soulcube shirt in one of them, and the other
Okay.
one was like a normal one. Yeah.
I was wondering maybe maybe it's like, oh, brands, we don't want to get copyright. Make sure
Yeah.
nobody sees it. Oh, what about the music? What do you have?
No,
like,
no
different-
music in any of them. Nope.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh,
It's a fucking mystery. It's a fucking mystery. But regardless, out of any of the 3, are there any topics that you guys would like to discuss? I mean, we can break them down into bigger things, like for future episodes, if we wanted to. I'm not quite sure how we're looking for time. But I'm indifferent either way.
Time is 33.
33. You know what? Let's give it a miss, and if people want it, if the viewers want it, we'll crack into them next episode. I think we can like wrap up with why Alex doesn't like game development, and then
I'm
maybe
interested
some
to know
wind
why
down.
I don't
Maybe-
like it.
Yeah.
Then maybe
Alright.
some wind down.
I
questions.
believe
So-
that you're going off what happened in like Stab.
So we'll kick it off. Alex, you can propose your very controversial stance.
My controversial stance on why I don't like game development, which Jade, could you just please inform me about my stance?
Okay, so I'm gonna give some context to the viewers as to why this is on the thing. Actually, why do I have to give context for this? Why can't you explain?
No, is this about the stat thing?
Well, I mean, we've had several
What's the
conversations about like why you don't find like game development or software stuff
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that'd be
So
an
just
interesting
want to
discussion.
establish why. Okay. Well,
Because I still don't understand why you like art but not game development.
yeah. Well, the major things I was just like with game development, I find laptops or I find computers and things that happen within on like SSDs and like fucking
Yeah.
drive and all this kind of stuff, very unfulfilling.
Yeah.
Like it's very unfulfilling work in the sense that it's not something in which I feel like I can use or really affects me outside of it. Like, doing coding or making some game or making a little cube swing between blocks. It seems unfulfilling because it's this artificial thing that I've created and this artificial world in which has no real direct correlation to the to the outside world. Now,
Yeah. Yeah.
story games are different, as in they tell a story,
Yeah.
and that is better. But I find the whole making the game components move, and making all of these different functions and stuff just quite boring and unappealing. The story part of it and making this interactive story, of course, is the fun bit and the cool bit. It's
Yeah, so
just that
you do like that aspect of it. It's just you don't get a kick out of making a virtual box move.
no,
Mm.
I don't
Right.
find the coding aspect entertaining or fun. I like maths, right?
Yeah.
I but when I say I like masses, I mean like I don't want to fucking do masses because pure mass is boring as. But I just find it elegant in its sense that it can do specific tasks and it can fulfill like mathematical problems that can solve things, and those have real tangible, real life applications. Of course, sometimes
Yeah,
in
but
fun
you're not
because
using like a lot of all
no,
those real life applications either, are you? So isn't
no, and
that
I know
still
that you
as
are with your
yeah?
thing.
Isn't that
Yes.
still like so like as detached? Like when you learn how to like find the volume of a rotated fucking parabola, maybe not parabola, like
Yeah.
some random shape, right? Like
Yeah.
isn't that just as virtual or detached from reality as coding a box to spin?
Yes, it is. But I just find like a computer. I just don't find them any like on a computer. Like it's just not fulfilling. Like if I want to think about okay, the career choice in which I go into,
Yeah.
the devoid nature of this like this thing which is in front of me. It's just it feels just like something. It's very feel vibe, right? Like it's
Yeah,
hard
yeah,
to
yeah.
just
Yeah,
quantify. And also, I haven't given it a lot of thought because now you've just put, having to actually think about it a lot more. But
Right.
yeah, it just I think it's an innate thing with computers in which I just find them not very fulfilling and desolate of life or desolate of meaning,
Yeah.
and that is reflected within like games and itself. Whenever I play a game, I never view playing a game necessarily as like gaining something out of it. It tends to always just revert back to me wasting time.
I
So,
mean, is
but
that
it's
because you
also
haven't? Is that because you haven't played many narrative
games
games?
which have games which have actually left a long-standing impression on me. Yes.
Yeah,
No get like Minecraft. I've played it since I was a very small child. I actually feel like my creativity was very, very well like used on Minecraft when I was a child.
Yeah,
yeah,
fair
Which
enough.
and that's why do you think I'm still playing fucking Minecraft?
yeah,
Because I actually do like this game, but there are none. I don't have a relation. I never had a console. I never had a Wii. Oh, sorry, I did have a Wii, but you only played it with friends. I never had a computer. I only played on my mum's for Minecraft, right? So it's
yeah.
just I'm very isolated
Yeah,
from
yeah,
it
yeah,
from a
that's the
child,
same.
and
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
Yeah,
But
I feel like that's where our personal contexts probably diverge. Is why I have
Mm.
played a lot of narrative games. Um, and I think because you love reading, right?
I
Well,
well
you do
I
read a lot. You do read more than I
wish.
do.
Oh, I don't know. We probably read about the same
No, I
thing.
think you like how many books have you like? I remember you went for like a phase last year where you were just like reading like philosophy books and stuff.
Yeah, and I wish I was still doing that, honestly.
Because
Now, yeah.
I can't muster like the energy to like read like a lot of books. Like I can't do it. Like to chunk through like a full novel, it has to be like really
Yeah.
fucking good. Um,
Yeah,
whereas
I'm the same as well.
whereas I'm so
Like,
much more easy with games because if it's shit, I've only wasted like 2 or 3 hours of a day instead of like an entire fucking week worth of like free time just to finish a shitty book.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why I lean towards like looking into what we can do with this medium. And so I've played more narrative. I've played more narrative games, and games have had a lasting impact on me, like Firewatch, in particular. Um,
Yeah.
obviously, I suppose has had quite the impact. I'm trying to think of what like the first. I'm trying to think of what if the first narrative game I would have played like would have been.
Been like one of the Zelda ones.
I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I suppose because they're not really about the story either, right? They're just in
I
terms
do
of
have-
in terms of that article that before there, the story is there to support the gameplay, right?
Yeah,
The gameplay is not there to
Yeah.
support the
Yeah.
story.
Or back to our shorts as well. Ooh.
Yeah. I do have very fond memories of Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. That is maybe one of my most nostalgic games of all time.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it comes because I don't have a strong relation with games or with computers, and I've always been, I just find them a very foreign thing. I find them extremely fascinating. As in, like, how the hell can an SSD card like fucking know everything that's on this little thing with this
Yeah.
magnetic field influxes, right? In
Yeah.
which allow me to fucking play Minecraft right now somehow. Like,
Yeah.
that's amazing shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
these
agree.
things, but like, I don't know. I find it unfulfilling. Like, as a feeling, not maybe not as intellectually, but as a feeling, it feels unfulfilling. But that may also be due to my lack of experience in it, right?
Yeah. I mean, you are right. There is more disconnect between what you are doing as a human versus what you are actually creating in the world. Because like what I was saying before is like you like drawing shit, right? But when you're drawing
Yeah.
shit, it is a lot more grounded in reality, I suppose.
Yeah, and like tangible.
Yeah. Then
Well, when I draw stuff, it's whenever I draw stuff because I feel things, right? So
yeah.
I draw because I feel, basically. And if you feel something, I'm like, okay, I want to express that, say, whether drawing something or express that whether writing something. But I feel
I
like
guess you
art,
can't really do the same thing in code.
yeah.
Unless
But I mean,
you like cracked
You
it.
can-
yeah, and
you can in
the fun
games,
bit,
right,
with,
but,
the
yeah.
fun with game development, is making that story, right? Making those cool, that cool art,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, like bring it
the
to
lighting
life.
and the
Like,
physics, just so it works the way that you want it to as an artistic piece.
Yeah.
But like there's so many processes that you have to do before you get to that stage.
Yeah, but I mean,
So
it's the same thing.
you
It's the
just get
same
bogged
thing,
down.
like with art, right? Like I mean, you've like you like drawn pictures since you like were a child.
Yeah, I've always
Yeah,
been.
because I never did, and now when I try to draw, like now I'm fucking shit at it, right? Because I don't have the practice, and I don't have the underlying principles of like how to draw shit. So like when I
Yeah.
do have that meaning that I want to convey in something visual, I can't do it. I can't do it because I don't have the fundamental techniques to represent what's in my mind.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's similar with games, right? Like you may have an idea, and there's just so many like hoops that you have to jump through to have the mastery of the tools, I guess, to convey that meaning.
Yeah.
And I do agree that stuff like music or visual art is, I suppose, easier to get a grasp on.
Yeah. It was a very difficult thing for game development. It's very like it has a lot of laws. It has a lot of
Yeah.
language you have to learn. Like with art, right? At least with art, you grab all you need is a piece of paper and a pencil, right? And then you can begin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But with like game dev, if I want to create a game, I can't just go in and start making or modeling a piece and start writing code. I need to learn the language. I need to learn how.
Yeah. You can't really
Yeah, that's
learn
true.
by trial and error. You can't really learn by doing.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's also another aspect. It's so foreign, as in like, yeah, it's very hard to learn from that exactly.
That's
Like, how can I learn syntax without looking it up, reading every little bit about it? How am I supposed to know how to rotate this object if I don't know its syntax?
Yeah, it's like a very like technical process for
Yeah.
something to use as like an emotional like.
And yeah, that's because I just don't. Yeah, I don't particularly find beauty in its complexity, as in like, oh, look at all this code that I wrote to do all this thing.
I mean, neither do I. Really.
Yeah.
This is
I
beautiful
find
code.
the beauty of it in what it's capable of in conveying a story or in conveying ideas. And that part, there's so many underlying features to it which are very, very complex and very hard, which is also why I'm like, oh, I don't necessarily like it, because it's just so goddamn hard to do. And like, Yeah, there's lots of different.
Yeah, I feel like it is quite justified. I feel like it is quite justified. But then, at the same time, game development itself is quite a modular, I suppose, what's the field, right? Even if you don't like coding, there are still like other aspects. Like Max doesn't do a lot of coding, right? But he still likes making games because he's into
Yeah,
like
of
the,
course,
the
yeah.
art and shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's my big thing with game development is working collaboratively, right? You find someone who does have that knack for well, that does find enjoyment out of coding and shit, and they can fucking do that shit, right? And then you work together with other people to create like an artistic
All the
vision.
rest of it, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
But that's why, like, when did some of the games with you guys, I did only the art bit, right? That's the only cool bit, right?
Yeah.
So Jade bit's way too hard. To
Yeah.
fucking do. So, and yeah, I mean, like, I don't despise it. I just find it, yeah, just like it has a feeling, as in it just lacks particular purpose. Although, of course, it has purpose. The purpose that you find it's needs so many other components
Yeah.
that make a story. I could just make a piece of art or write something,
Yeah.
and I'd probably get the same impact, at least the desired impact for me personally.
Yeah.
Out of it. So yeah. But
Yeah.
I
And
it's very
I suppose we have approached the entire thing from a more like artistic sort of like literary standpoint.
Yeah.
But I do find a fair bit of enjoyment out of just like making something that's just fun. That's just like it's just a fun thing to play, right?
Yeah.
I think there is that aspect of it too, especially in like jams and stuff too, where your game basically has like barely any meaning, and it's just
Yeah.
it's just there to just smash out something that other people in the world can sort of like enjoy, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, like Garden of Error and stuff. Those things were really fun to do.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because they had any meaning, but just
Yeah.
because I think that was probably they're really fun to do because it's like
Yeah.
this short burst of like, even if the inspiration's shit, right? You got to do it.
Yeah.
You have this
Yeah.
limited time, and there's no grade, no nothing.
Yeah.
And the best part about it,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
when like when I did it with Max, right? That first off, no fucking coding. That's great because that means you just get full. And if it's just Max, then you get like full artistic.
Yeah, I can do whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
I view it
Reality, we
more
can
like
do
because I
whatever
just
I want.
prefer it generally as a more artistic side of it, less of the mathematical one for that. Despite
Yeah.
liking maths, I prefer. That's why I like science more, right? Because it has a physical application, which I find more tangible. That's why
Yeah.
Yeah.
than pure. Because it's like, yeah, it's cool to do these things, but I gain more personal knowledge and insight of the world around me through a science one.
Yeah.
It's like the arts I gain more personal and broader understanding of the world through dealing with emotions or dealing with art, because it conveys ideas, emotions.
Yeah. That's that's totally understandable too.
Yeah.
Well, coolio.
Damn.
Do either of you have anything else you want to add to that conversation?
What about Max? What is Max's? I never really hear Max on game dev.
On me on game dev. I mean, I stand very similar to your position here, Muzz. I don't really get kicks out of code. I just it's more just like creating like a visual piece. I mean, I'm all like I understand like the whole idea how it all comes together and makes something one, right? But for me, I feel that I can contribute to creating. I can create an experience through using my ability of like art, like the visuals. And I try not to be like egotistical with like my field and go, art's everything, because I understand that like gameplay and shit is probably just as or even more important as the visuals, but still I try and put in my all with the art and stuff, because I'm still passionate about making that experience for other people, and for making that, like as Jade said, something that someone else in the world can enjoy. But I'm just going to use the part that I'm familiar and comfortable with, the part that I resonate with the most, to do so.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's this is the thing why I rally so hard for game development being a more common hobby, is because all you have to do is resonate with that one aspect of it, and then you find other people, and then there you fucking go, right?
And then you have like a team, and you're making experiences. Yeah.
I feel like that's also a reason why, like the HSC and stuff, how games aren't very favorable at the moment. Like, well, not relating directly to what Max is saying, because I know I just said I think that's the reason why, but no, because it's very it's not just literary in the sense that game development is very mathematical.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing where, because if these people, when you look at a game, right?
Yeah.
The components of the game, a lot of them stem directly from a mathematical involvement in it, as in gameplay, right? That is the code of the game. It's all mathematical, and if you go into a literary work and you're trying to analyze using literary terms, you're analyzing a mathematical piece of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but like even when like games like started to get recognized, right, they still have to invent new literary terms to accommodate for their form, right? Like cinematography wasn't a thing you used to describe books, right? But it's a concept that they needed to introduce when they accepted films, and I think
that's also like a stage that we're currently in.
Yeah, I think the same will eventually happen for games. I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think
it's only a matter of time.
Terms
I think.
I feel like that's a big reason why like Miss Bright hang on, I don't even know if are we allowed to say that?
Are you allowed to say what?
We say doesn't matter. That's like why people are like, don't do games in HSE and stuff. It's just because they're a very new thing, and the whole nothing's adapted to it, but it's also very mathematical. And like, most stuff in today's 21st century, everything is becoming more complex. Right?
Yeah.
And these simple things, which is like, just grab a pen and a piece of paper and just, write to your heart's content. And do this. And then it got a little bit more complex where you had cinematography, and now it's getting even more complex. Bloody coding shit. And now people are like, this is meant to be literature, not fucking game. Like, what the hell was math? I did a fucking arts degree because I wanted art, not math. This is bullshit. You get an F, right?
Yeah.
But as a very brutal way of saying it, but I reckon that's the state that it's currently in, which is why teachers just.
Yeah, I mean, language is powerful, right? If there isn't the language to address something, then it becomes less valid, right? I think that's a good point. I think
that's right.
Why films are seen as more valid and books are seen as more valid, because we do have names for all the literary devices.
You can effectively.
We have literary terms to discuss these things, but we don't have literary terms to discuss games.
It's so new, and even the concept of like games. Because I was trying to tie this to your shorts.
Yeah.
I just remember that you actually wanted to save that for another time. So
no, it's fine. But like, I just find it interesting because it's just like there's plenty of like, because an argument would be that like there are plenty of games that do hold like fuck all literary or artistic merit, right? They're just there for the fucking fun of it, like fucking Muras, right? What is that? Nothing, literally nothing. It's just a fun little fucking thing where you jump around, right? But at the same time,
that's a really interesting thing. But like, sorry.
No, you go.
I was saying, like, games, they can be so diverse. You can have a game which is it's all about a story, and then you can have a game like Doom. Well, Doom has a tiny story, but so just for the guts.
It's just for like contextualizing the actions.
It's like these people who have to get these, how. It's such a broad and diverse thing too. At least with like film and videography and stuff, it's a story. It's always a story, right? Like I've never really.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's not a story, what is it? A documentary. A documentary is still like a story, right? But it's, you have
I mean, it could just be like fucking explosions. Could just be action.
It could be Transformers, yeah.
Yeah. Or you could
Could
just
be a
have like a
Michael Bay
film
film.
as in like demonstrating something as well. But like if we talk
Yeah, that's true.
in video, it's overwhelmingly all about it's always story, right?
Yeah.
Big
Yeah, that's
games,
right.
they're just so diverse that it's just really hard to
Yeah, and then like adding on to that, I think like a lot of like the markers and stuff, if they're of like an older demographic, they'd probably associate video games with this like the whole Super Mario
Space
type
Invaders.
thing. Yeah, exactly.
Galaga.
Where it's like what
Asteroid.
kind of fucking like what kind of fucking story can that have? Italian man jumps and does mushrooms. I don't understand how that has any merit. And I think like a lot of it is just not enough exposure to the true potential of the medium.
Yeah.
None of the form. Yeah.
This is a hard medium to actually give definitions and to define in like every aspect of it, because you can always see where somebody else can do it a different way, especially with all of its different aspects. You've got music, you've got movements, you've got style, you've got cinematography, you've got bloody everything, right?
Yeah.
So much more creative in that sense as well, as you have so much opportunity to change the world. You make a fucking world, right? And that's just like how can you quantify making a world with all of its complexities and all of its beauty? It's just something in which our current syllabus and our current stuff doesn't.
Well, our educators aren't educated in it, right? That's not the
it's all about
education
a
they
rubric.
received.
Yeah, they just want a rubric and easy defined. Is this an A? Is it a B? Is it a C? Is it a D? Like
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is,
that can't be said with games.
The thing is, teachers don't know how to teach games because they weren't taught how to do it themselves, right? How could they possibly be expected to teach kids about games if they themselves don't know about them? So I think until it gets recognized in, until like the people in power about it, like up the top, begin to recognize it and appreciate it, there's really not much that is going to ever trickle down to the actual students themselves. Because
actually, I'm curious. Sorry, I'm curious about how like using games and stuff for other countries' schooling systems works.
I reckon it's way less lenient than here. I think we have it good. That's my prediction. I think Australia might be one of the best countries in terms of how progressive it's.
Yeah, because I was just like thinking about that. Like, if there's other countries out there that actually have, some more like lenient school systems in terms for creative medium. So if you're not from Australia, and you just leave a little comment suggesting or like informing how your school system, if you go to school, if you used to go to school, whatever, how it works with games as a creative platform.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I have no real evidence, but I predict Australia might be one of the best countries in the world for leniency on what defines a text.
Yeah,
because as I went through on the short, like the definition I gave, when you actually read what the fucking syllabus says a text is, it is so fucking obscure. Like it's literally just like anything really.
Yeah.
Like one of the examples they fucking use in the thing is a blog. They literally have a blog as a fucking as an example.
All right.
So it's just like it's very very postmodern.
Very nice.
Well, it's a
bit late now.
Yeah, is that a wrap?
I reckon that's a wrap. Just over an hour. That's pretty good.
Is that a wrap? Well, hopefully we're not
well-timed.
missing anything. Do we have a meme of the week or no?
Oh, I know nobody. I don't think anyone replied if they wanted it or not.
Yeah, no one did. We got nothing.
Yeah.
We did have a comment. We did have a comment about Drew. He didn't ask any questions or anything, but I feel like we should say it because we keep bitching about no one leaving comments. But he did leave a comment
What did he say?
that I wasn't addressing. It was we were talking about Super Win the Game.
Mm-hmm.
He said he doesn't like the fake CRT filters on games.
Yeah.
That was his that's what he wanted to say. He said, never liked those fake CRT filters on games like with Super Win the Game. Doesn't compare to the real deal and with consoles designed with those sort of TV sets in mind. I feel like it's a fine enough stance to have, but like at the same time, you can't really play a game on those consoles anymore.
Yeah, there's no real way of like emulating that experience. Yeah.
So I do think, I mean, if you want that aesthetic, I do think like having a toggleable like on like what's the fucking game called? Loop Hero is nice. Where you can like play with like a normal fucking like a normal game if you want, but you can toggle on the weird post processing stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand like it ticking you off, but at the same time, what else are they supposed to do? You know?
Yeah, if they want that style, there's very little ways to actually execute it.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, I think
Well.
I think it's time for a wrap. Do one of you guys want to
reckon.
do the wrap up or?
You.
Me? Fucking okay, sure. Thank you all for sticking around. As usual, please leave a question, a query, any feedback in the comments below. We'd love to hear it. We'll probably see you in a couple weeks.
Oh my god.
Remember to check out our other socials, Instagram, Twitter. We stream live on Twitch. There's some cool shit coming on Twitch.
Gosh. Funky content.
Yeah, there's some cool shit going on there. So don't miss out. We're trying to hit affiliate. We need 50 followers. We're at 34, I think. So if we could get to the line by the end of June, that's what we're striving for. Please go give us a follow there. As always, join the Discord server and check out the Patreon if you'd like to support us financially. And we have merch. I feel like we haven't plugged the merch in ages either. There is merch.
we have Redbubble
I don't know
with our own custom
What do you mean you don't know we have merch?
Well, no, I didn't know that you have more different merch.
No, we don't have different merch. It's the same merch, but no one bought the.
It's just so it's like effectively still brand spanking new because no one's really seen it.
Right.
But we have our own merch, our own in-house designed products, sold through Redbubble, of course. So if you're curious about repping the cube, repping the soul, head over there. It's
awesome.
probably going to be in the description somewhere.
Yeah, well.
And yeah.
All right, we'll see you all in the next one then.
Alrighty.
See you later,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Peace.
Bye. No.